What do we do? So with misinformation, how do you think we just have to be open, like something of a free-for-all? Whether that's Holocaust denial, right? Just as like a thing. Because this is the thing that Zuckerberg said, if somebody posted Holocaust denial on Facebook, he'd accept it, and then a couple years later he was like, I've had a change of heart. Yeah. I think I would try to get rid of it. Do we do a free-for-all? And if that leads to the demise of humanity, so be it? Or do we have some mechanism? Because that seems to be the argument whenever, because people go, I think Alex Jones should be able to say whatever he wants. I think whoever can say whatever they want, and then and we have to let the chips fall where they may, because I don't trust any human being to be in charge of this. So we just have to see where this takes us. Because there was a thing in with WhatsApp, for example, owned by Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, and there was a thing. There's a lot of misinformation on WhatsApp. They'll just blast people. They'll just blast numbers. And in the Myanmar Civil War, there was a thing. If you look this up, it'd be great, because there was a thing where they blasted misinformation, and a bunch of people went to some location and were slaughtered. It was a setup, basically. Now, a free speech absolutist would say
a genocide incited on Facebook with posts from Myanmar's military. Wow.
So that's 2018.
They posed as, scroll it back up again. They posed as fans of pop stars and national heroes as they flooded Facebook with their hatred. One said Islam was a global threat to Buddhism. Another shared a false story about the rape of a Buddhist woman by a Muslim man. The Facebook posts were not from everyday internet users. Instead, they were from Myanmar military personnel who turned the social network into a tool for ethnic cleansing, according to former military officials, researchers, and civilian officials in the country. That's another problem with social media, is that there's a very distinct real number, whatever the number is, where those accounts aren't real. So whatever the number is, they know that hundreds of thousands of them are fake and come from these Russian troll farms, and there's people that use them to manipulate you with businesses. And I mean, even Howard Stern was calling for that. Remember there was that video that came out about him where we were saying, hey, make a bunch of fake Twitter accounts and text and tweet to celebrities.
Right, and that's... it's like Donald Rumsfeld said, that's the cost of living in a free society.
Yeah.
So, freedom's messy. The question is, you read more of that, people got fucking thousands of people, maybe tens of thousands, based on fake posts.
Yeah, but so what I'm saying is, like, there's all sorts of ways people manipulate social media. The fact that you could just communicate to people, like, instantaneously, it's really magical, pretty amazing. But the problem that comes along with that is that you're going to get people manipulating it, and you're going to get people that could really have a great deal of impact on the way people see and think about things. And you could do that for your own best interest, or you could do that like they did it and slaughter a bunch of people. You could do that to try to make people aware of a situation, to sell a product, to do it. But the bottom line is,
or say elections were stolen.
It's not people. Yeah, and you could say it in a Trump room, or you can go to the Democrats and argue with them about it, and you stir up shit.
Yeah.
And it's not real people. That's the thing that's fucked, is like, if I know you're a human being and you're trolling, that's one thing. Oh, that guy's a troll. But at least I can identify you. That's the one human being. I know who he is. If you're a part of some Macedonia troll farm, and you're just spamming in multiple different accounts.
They're real people, though.
Yeah, but if you are doing it for a very specific purpose, you work for a company that's doing that. Like, that,
you just want to fuck with them with whatever country's election or whatever country's...
With everything that happens, with democracy itself. But what is the percentage of that? I want to know what the number is. Because if the number really is... like, people have thought that the number on Twitter could be as low as 5%, or some crazy people think it might be as high as 80%. What was that argument? That was by a guy who was some sort of securities expert, correct? And he said, like, on the high end, he think it might be like 80% bullshit accounts.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
insanity.
the world.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Charge $8. That's what Elon's going to do. If you
This
make
is all
people
product
pay
placement?
$8,
God damn it.
that might be the only way you can get people to not have fake accounts. But they would still have fake accounts.
Yeah,
They just pay for them.
they're gonna game it. What I'm saying
It would
is
be very valuable, right? If you did have an account, if it only cost you $8 to create a whole new account, and you use that account for propaganda, and you could
money well spent, incredibly well spent.
do a lot of stuff with that money.
Yeah,
a
but
good deal.
what I'm saying is, King Joe, what do you do? How do you what do you do? What do you do about Alex saying that there were crisis actors? What do you do about people exercising free speech that's not true? What do you do? That's
It's a good
the
question.
thing that I
can't. Do you
can't
counter it with truth? And do you let it all play out until people get a chance to understand what's correct and what's incorrect?
I think a lot of times it's too late. Myanmar would be an example of by the time they realize that it's too late.
That seems particularly different because they use that app to spam people. And
yeah, but I think that or Alex does Alex says that they're crisis actors in Connecticut, and then those families' lives are ruined 3 times worse than they would have been ruined. Their kids die. You know what I mean? It's
a good question.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, as a person, I don't know how to handle these things. And thinking about it, I'm like, I have no fucking idea.
No, I don't think anybody does. And there's free speech absolutists, and there's people that are willing to forgive people for past mistakes, and there's people that'll never forgive you for anything, and they want you punished and removed from the air if you made a mistake, or if you say something incorrect, or if you give out misinformation. They're talking about malinformation now, which is really wild. It's like using
intentionally bad
true information, but using it out of context, or using it in a context that could be dangerous.